Okay, so we had to talk about this for a little bit. Trying not to make it a long video, but you had this WrestleMania 42 sort of teaser that WWE rolled out, which was dumb. So they were dropping videos of everyone's like shoes walking or something. And we're thinking, oh, that's Brock Lesnar. Maybe this is a trailer saying, oh, he's going to be over the Vision or something. Nope. Come to find out, it's a dumb WrestleMania 42 teaser with Cody, Roman, CM Punk, and Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman in the background and Triple H in the middle. And I don't know if I'm the only one that kind of caught it, like, or maybe I just think a Triple H song, Time to Play the Game, and they're playing like poker or something like that. Now, one thing I wanted to notice is Paul Heyman. Now, I know everybody wants me to talk about the other stuff, but I'll get to that. But you have Paul Heyman in this picture. Paul Heyman isn't affiliated with any of those guys at the table in story mode right now. So Paul Heyman was off to the side behind Triple H. Now, WWE probably isn't going to do anything, any story with these guys, at this table. It was just a teaser to get people to buy WrestleMania tickets now. We don't know who's going to be champion going into WrestleMania. You still have to have someone win the Royal Rumble. Someone wins Elimination Chamber. Which this is why I think, Royal Rumble always, you get that title shot. Elimination Chamber, I don't like the way it is. You get that title shot, but whatever. So them promoting WrestleMania already like that is scary because you have no idea of what's going to transpire now until the Royal Rumble. But, Seth isn't there. And you look at it. Brock is a mega part-timer. Roman is a part-timer. Cody really isn't a part-timer. But he just doesn't wrestle that much. But, at least he makes his appearances, CM Punk isn't a part-timer, which is crazy because CM Punk can be a part-timer. CM Punk could be a part-timer and Roman could be a full-timer. But Roman put in those 4 years nonstop. He kind of went legendary status, but they're booking him into oblivion. So where are your mega stars? Unless this teaser was actually going to tease something like, I don't want to say a tag match or some sort of faction or something, Triple H having all the power going up against, something, or Triple H is the bad guy teaming with Paul Heyman, I mean, that there's none of that. It was really just a dumb teaser, of superstars going sit at a table. This has no meaning whatsoever. And I think that's the problem with WWE. There's no meaning. None of this has anything to do with WrestleMania 42. You expect to see Cody, Roman, Brock, and CM Punk at WrestleMania anyway. Who are they going to put as like a fifth guy or sixth guy at the table? Gunther, Rey Mysterio, Brock and CM Punk are going to be out the door. Roman is going to be out the door way earlier because, he's going to try to go to Hollywood, which I don't think that's going to work. John Cena has that it factor. I don't see Roman having that just it factor. Unless Roman goes to Marvel, where he can play some kind of superhero or something. I don't see Roman having that acting ability like John Cena, that doing the funny comedy serious roles. I don't see Roman doing that. Surprisingly, Solo Sikoa can do that. Solo had an acting role on like SVU or something like that, and he did a good job. Roman, I think Roman probably got, 2 more years. I think Seth might have even said something about, he was leaving and AJ Styles is leaving like next year or something. So Triple H built up no one to take their place. But on the other hand, if you made it this far to the video, I already said what y'all already knew. But people are complaining about representation, which, okay, it's okay to not have women on this teaser. I don't think it was meant for that. It was a dumb teaser anyway. What I think they're probably going to do is roll out another teaser with the women on it. So that's probably coming, and it's probably not because WWE is dumb. But I think they're probably going to do something like that. But usually when you see like poker tournaments or you think of casinos or something, it's not prominently women, on these poker type tables gambling. So them not being women on this teaser wasn't a shocker. Even the shoes thing that led up to it wasn't high heels and stuff. But next, there's no, black, Mexican, Asian, or whatever. There's no one else at this table. But then you have to ask yourself, who are they going to put up there? R-Truth at the table? You're going to put Montez Ford at the table? You're going to put Carmelo Hayes at the table? You're going to put Trick Williams at the table? You can't. Because they aren't elevated to mega stardom yet. So you can't do that. There's no one African American that's on the level with Cody, Roman, Brock, and CM Punk. There just isn't. Triple H has not built up black talent to that level. The biggest star that's African American in the WWE is Bianca Belair. And second to that is Naomi. And I would even probably say third is going to be Jade Cargill or Carmelo Hayes, which you can actually elevate Carmelo and Jade at the same time. Because, you know, one's a woman, one's a man. If you wanted to push them, you can push them and they'll probably have about the same, you know, status. If you just wanted to measure that. And honestly, Jade might be a little more popular than Carmelo just because of her time in AEW. Then coming here, she had a bunch of hype and they just, man, they could have lit a rocket on Jade. She would be over more than Naomi, to be honest. But another thing too, Naomi is probably leaving soon. And then I would say Bianca and Naomi probably have maybe 3 years left. I think Naomi and Asuka might have been like around the same time. Bianca been here a while too, like at least mid 2015 or 2016, something around that time. And I mean, the hater needs to put some respect on Bianca's name. I mean, he keep dogging out Bianca. And I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, there's not a woman superstar that can really beat Bianca. Maybe Rhea. If they fought 10 times, Rhea might win 2. Charlotte could barely beat Bianca. Honestly, I mean, Bianca should have went over, but the only reason they threw Io Sky in there because Triple H did not want Bianca to pin a white person. So let's just be honest. That's all that was. I mean, you could take that to the bank, but why isn't there a black superstar that's at the top, or not even at the top, but at least even in the conversation? That's all that is. And I think, The Rock has a lot to do with that. Y'all could say what y'all want. Triple H and The Rock has heat that's like unspoken. They have heat that, real recognized real type heat. And I think that's what the issue is. I think Shawn Michaels might have let that go because him and The Rock had issues. But Shawn Michaels let that go. Triple H, he wants to be the boss. So he has a grudge on that. And he has a grudge secretly against The Rock. The Rock don't even claim to be black. He wants to be Samoan. He's half Samoan. But he wants to be black. So that's probably why Triple H isn't escalating black talent. Just the Samoans. But, you would think Jey Uso might would have been at that table or something. But, hey, you got Roman at the table. No more Usos. So, I mean, WrestleMania 42, if you know the significance around the number 42, you would think, you would have a black world champion. At least world champion. But that's kind of what people are, complaining about. But hey, you can't just complain about this teaser. You have to look at why. Look at the why. He can't put a black superstar in that teaser because he hasn't even elevated one for the past, just go back 5 years. That there's no reason why Omos, isn't getting like a Big Show run. Big Show, top guy. They don't even want to do nothing with him. He's relegated to a AAA Raw Rumble. But there you go. Y'all got Triple H. Y'all wanted Triple H. Oh, Triple H is gonna be better than Vince McMahon. That's what anyone would have thought. You've been in the business 20 plus years. You've been under the tutelage of Vince McMahon for like 10 years. You're married to his daughter. You know how the business works, and you're purposely sabotaging WWE. Triple H needs to be fired. Every WWE superstar should go do a class lawsuit against Triple H if we don't have a black champion by 2026. I'm just saying. But he keeps his hands washed by giving, Naomi the championship. He gives Trick Williams the TNA championship. He gave the Street Profits a little run, but never, ever will a black champion will be world champion or WWE champion under Triple H. And I'll bet my last dollar we don't get a black champion even in 2030. We're only going to get one once Saudi buys it. Usually the Saudis, they have strict religious views, but they're not racist. So y'all not getting a black champion until Saudi puts one there. Y'all can take that to the bank. I'm signing off. Y'all put y'all thoughts in the comments about Triple H, about this teaser. What y'all think gonna happen on Friday. Peace.